The aorta is the celiac trunk, okay? Coming off the celiac trunk, we have the first thing coming off that should be pointing basically straight up, or should be parallel to the aorta. Okay, that's going to be our hepatic artery. Okay, it's going up here to the liver. See where I'm pointing? Pop, pop, pop. Can I get that hood lower? This is driving me crazy. Like low, way lower. Like lower than you think you need to be. A little higher. Right. Okay, that's perfect. Right. Okay. After that, our next branch is going to be at a diagonal, if you're on the right one, and that's your gastric artery, going right here to the stomach. And then lastly, the easiest one to find because it's so dang long, see that right here? It's going to the spleen. That is your splenic artery, right? So that 4 terms right there, and you need to be able to understand the first branch off the aorta is the celiac trunk to find any of them, okay? Celiac trunk, hepatic artery, gastric artery, splenic artery. Next up, we have this, which is our second branch, and you should know, hopefully, that the second branch is the superior mesenteric artery, but if you don't, you can trace it up to here and be like, okay, well, this is filling stuff up, so where is the blood vessels? Oh, they're in here, and this is my mesentery, making this the superior mesenteric artery. Cool? Okay, continuing down, it's been severed, but you would obviously find a renal artery here, and a cat that, you know, sucked less. And then here's your renal vein. Okay? Continuing down the aorta, we have here, these 2 things coming off. These are renal arteries and veins. Okay, not here. This is your iliolumbar. So if it's at the hips, that's a term you want to know but won't be on the exam. Iliolumbar artery and vein. And then here, between the iliolumbar, so you know you're at the renal arteries because they're either coming off of, I'm sorry, the gonadal arteries, because they're either coming off of the renals or they're coming off of the aorta and vena cava above the inferior mesenteric artery here, okay? Just like this, superior mesenteric, inferior mesenteric. It's going to the large intestine where this is going to the small intestine. Got it? So, remember, the cat doesn't have a common iliac artery, so we go straight into external and internal iliac arteries. Okay? Here, you have a branch where your internal iliac vein is going to go, but here, that just means that's the start of your femoral artery, and your deep femoral goes in deeper here, but it's not uncovered enough on this cat, okay? As for the veins, I've never seen this before. It's supposed to split here and not freak me out. And you have your come here, common iliac vein. Splits here again into your external, and then internal is going up here. You can see a little bit of the blue trace up. External iliac vein, internal iliac vein. Here, this is where your femoral starts, and your deep femoral goes in here where the deep femoral vein artery is. So deep femoral vein, deep femoral artery. And then your great saphenous is pretty much all of this. Okay? So the femoral is actually over here, but you can see it's popped because the blue dye is coming out. And that is fucking hiatus. We have the, this is still inferior vena cava. So this is inferior thoracic vena cava. Back here, again, we can see the thoracic descending aorta. It's descending from the heart. And it travels alongside the azygous vein here. Okay? That all comes to a head at the heart. There's a little bit of lung left. Somebody did do a good job ripping that out. You can see the thoracic aorta much better without that in the way. So, next we have the pericardial sac that has been removed. This is an auricle. And there's the arc of the aorta. Off the arc of the aorta, you have your ascending aorta and your left subclavian artery. You can see the left subclavian goes all the way up. The arm over the rib cage becomes the axillary artery here, and then the brachial artery there. And as for this side, the ascending aorta becomes the brachiocephalic trunk, which splits into the left and right common carotids. Here you can see the right or the left starting, but it's not uncovered fully. So right there, see that? All you have to do is know where the right place is and dig, and you can find parts of your cat you're looking for. Everybody see that? See that thing I just dug up? That's your left common carotid, external common carotid. Okay, and then the right subclavian artery branches off there, goes over, becomes axillary here in this region, and becomes brachial farther in, but it hasn't been uncovered. As for the veins, here's your superior vena cava, here's your brachiocephalic vein. On the left brachiocephalic vein, we can see it split up into the left external jugular vein and the left subclavian vein. Then the dye runs out, but here is the axillary vein, and the brachial vein is deeper in here, but it's gone completely pale, okay? Also, if you follow both jugulars up, so here's your external jugular, here's your internal jugular. It's rare to actually be able to see this as well in the cat. Right? External, internal. The externals loop up here below the chin at the transverse jugular. And then again, here, this is actually the brachial vein down here. Okay? Whatever we do, your brachial will be farther in there. Alright? And that is pretty, oh, and then along your carotid, there's your vagus nerve and a phrenic nerve. See that? Going along near the esophagus?